Yo! Video games.
What up, dudes? Matt here from YoVideogames, and I'm back with probably my final video covering the Summer Games Fest Playdays, and we're going to save, last but certainly not least, and that is my hands-on impressions with Bison in Street Fighter 6. Now, as you all know, I am not a great fighting game player. I just kind of casually enjoy them, and in Street Fighter, I'm not really any better than a Platinum 4, so to give you some example here, this is going to be a very, what does a normal or a normie human feel like when they play a brand new Street Fighter 6 character for the first time? And now that's not to say I don't have a lot of history with Street Fighter. I've been playing it since it came out, in the early 90s. So that being said, let's jump right in. How does Bison feel? Bison feels stocky, but powerful, I guess is a good way to say it. He's got some interesting changes. For one, his scissor kicks are now a Hadouken motion, which is very interesting. His Psycho Crusher is still a charge move. I believe his head stomp is still a charge as well. It may not be. I have to double check on that. But either way, Bison's actually a mixed character now. He's no longer just a charge character. He is a mix with traditional inputs and charge movements. So that actually changes him up a little bit. He's actually kind of fun in that regard. As far as how does this Bison feel versus other Bisons, well, let me get right out of the way. He does not have a fireball or a psycho ball, as you might call it, from some of the other past iterations of Bison. So he doesn't quite feel like his alpha counterpart. He doesn't really feel like CVS2 Bison either. He doesn't have, the hand wiping, motions or any of the super quick heavy combo potential. So he's much more of a stocky character. He doesn't feel like Street Fighter 2 Bison either. What he does have, though, is he does have some long-reaching pokes, both with his low-medium kicks and his drive impact. It has a big wind-up, but it's got a huge poke in his drive rush. He goes pretty far on that thing, so he's got some ways to cover space. He can also do 2 hits in the air off of a head stomp now, so he can kind of mix it up a little bit and keep it going a little bit longer. But again, his one obvious kind of weakness is that he can possibly get zoned. It might be a bit of a nightmare if you're a Bison player dealing with an Akuma who's spamming their fireballs constantly, because Akuma's got the fast fireball spam. So that is his one sort of weakness there. He also, again, say his drive impact, it's got a bit of a warm up, and some of his moves have a little bit of, I can kind of see this coming, but he does make up for it in the fact that things like the scissor kick he can just throw out now. You are not safe. You cannot wait for someone to charge a scissor kick. He can just throw that sucker out there anytime now. Again, and he's a little more aerial in his mobility and movement now. So playing against Bison, you may want to be a little bit more careful now, because it feels like he can be in the air and he can keep you in the air for a little bit. I think if anything, he feels kind of like a refinement of his Street Fighter V iteration the most, which I guess probably makes the most sense anyways, considering, hey, this is the immediate follow-up to that game. But yeah, if you were looking for what does this Bison feel like the most, it's probably Street Fighter V. But again, I don't think he quite has all the tech there. I like his design, actually. It's very clearly inspired by Fist of the North Star, with his horse and his, his rags on and everything. Yeah, it's a little bit oh, why is Bison back? I thought he was dead. He's been dead 4 times. It's a fighting game. Fighting games are comic books. No one's ever really gone. So, that being said, how did I fare? I mean, I only really personally did well against people who were forced to use a controller or a leverless and were not used to it. That's the only way I was winning any rounds. Put me up against the hands of a competent or pro player with an arcade stick, and I'm going down real fast. But so yeah, I can't really say that I did super well or anything with Bison there. Only really did well against computer or people who were basically not used to the controller they were playing with. But that's just me. You don't have to worry about you. He has his classic costume, which is nice to see, and all the weird variations on it. He doesn't have the little cape thing that he did in 5. It's based strictly off of Street Fighter 2 classic design. So yeah, there's that. I kind of wish he used his horse in some move somewhere, some way. But yeah, alas, it does not look like his horse is gonna be integrated in the gameplay. Though it does make for a really fun intro. You know, when he's walking in on the hype up segment, when he's just sitting there with his hands crossed, you know, while like walking in on the horse. I guess there's really not much else to say about Bison. I would say I don't think he's busted out the gate. I think people will find things with him that are very good because he does do a pretty good amount of damage in a short amount of time. Like, he can do some pretty decent damage off some short target combos. So he's not like, oh god, this character's gonna be awful when he comes. No, he's gonna be for the characters. He's gonna be for the players who really want to devote time to make him. But I don't think it's gonna take forever to make him good. He's got some decent stuff off right out the gate. But you know, if you're sitting there worried, like, is Bison gonna dominate the player roster? No, I don't think so. But I do think he'll be a fun addition. He seems like he's been for a character that's coming out so fast after Akuma, he feels like he's been very carefully thought out to fit in with the systems of Street Fighter 6 and not break them entirely. So that's actually good to see. Of course, there's the elephant in the room, and that is the rest of the roster for Season 2. And yeah, I am beyond hyped for Terry. I am super excited. Terry's moveset, Terry's abilities in Street Fighter 6's systems, it's going to be a blast. I already got a bit of a taste in City of the Wolves, and I loved that game. So just imagining, you know, what Terry will be able to do, you know, with all his natural default moves, crack shot, power dunk, you know, Buster Wolf, power shot. Oh my god, Terry's going to be so much fun. Terry is going, you know, Terry has the potential to be busted out the gate in ways that Bison isn't. But yeah, I'm super looking forward to Terry. My most anticipated. I know most of your anticipated is probably Mai, just so you can see her fucking tits and ass jiggle in HD or RE engine, but whatever. I'm sure Mai will be fun, but you know, she's basically a Shoto with some air dives, whatever. Elena, I'm actually excited to see Elena come back. I know some people are mad. It's not Dudley, it's not Sean, it's not Makoto. We all want Makoto. Makoto was my go-to in Third Strike as well. I too, you know, yearn for Makoto in Street Fighter 6, but I think Elena's a solid choice. I think it's going to be great to have like a capoeira character in the game. I'm excited to see what they do with her. I think she'll be a lot of fun. Stop the Elena hate. You know, Makoto's going to happen probably someday. I don't know. But, you know, just stop the Elena hate. She's going to be fun. So yeah, that's kind of my impressions and thoughts on Street Fighter 6 Season 2, you know, going into it from where we are. Bison is a solid, you know, solid entry to start the season with. He doesn't seem overtly, you know, busted. He doesn't, you know, he doesn't seem like he's going to dominate the roster, but he has some fun stuff with him. Again, he's got a little more aerial juggle sauce. You know, a scissor kick is now instant with Hadouken motions. He's going to be fun. I think he's going to be fun to toy around with for a little while. I think for Bison fans, I think Bison fans are going to dig him. I think he does justice to Bison fans personally, but I'm not a Bison player, like, you know, so maybe I'm speaking out of my butt here, but yeah, I think he's a solid entry. I don't think he's going to dominate the roster, but I think he's going to, you know, you'll run into them, and then you'll run into really good players, and then you're going to get mopped by them, and then you'll wonder why. But anyways, yeah, those are my impressions of Street Fighter 6 from the Summer Games Fest play days. And yeah, that's going to pretty much wrap it up my time with the hands-on impressions there. It was a great time to be had. I hope to keep giving you coverage, hope to, you know, be there next year to, you know, keep it going. And again, let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you want to know any more from the event. You know, let me know, and I will see you on the channel. Later, dudes.